All right. So we're rolling, getting ready to get started for our Legacy Farming and Health meeting on whatever day this is, February, what, 7th?
7th, yes.
Yeah, 2019. So I sent out some stuff earlier to the group and asked them to watch a documentary called on Netflix by Killer Mike. That's called Trigger Warning, and they were supposed to follow the first episode, which was Living Black, as I think that's what he called it. And in his episode Living Black, he took 3 days and said that he was going to not do anything, not buy anything, not wear anything, not drive anything that wasn't made by blacks. And so I don't know if anybody else watched it. Who all watched it? Tamika, did you get a chance to check it out?
I binge watched the entire docuseries.
Okay, yeah, that's right. I forgot you said you got hooked on it.
I didn't get past the first episode because I got hooked on some other nonsense. It was very good, very good.
So, it brought out some very interesting things that I thought that it had, and so but before I go and spill out mine, I like to hear from everybody else. Tamika, what did you think about it?
I'm gonna tell you, after I watched the first one, I contacted Mr. Mike and let him know I wanted to connect and build. But so I thought very highly of it. Let me just put it that way. I would even add, I think what he was really trying to do was illuminate the fact that we talk a lot about what we want to do in circulating our dollars, and it shined a light on the reality of what we can, I guess, use right now and what we really need to be building. So it really got me thinking about stop talking and start building. Because if he wanted to take that a step further, the cell phone that he was on, even though he bought a cell phone that was made by a brother, the actual carriers are not people who look like us, nor do they have any interest in our community except for densities. And so it's really powerful what he did. So it really just shed a lot of light on the real work that still needs to be done. And we need to get started, and it has to be deeper. Right now, the top level is spending with each other. That's the top level. But we don't make a lot. So the next level has to be about production and manufacturing. If we're not talking about that, then we're not talking serious about it. We're not really serious about what we say we're serious about. So that's what I took from it.
Oh, that's beautiful. I can jump all over that. But yeah, I agree with you wholeheartedly with what you were saying here. And I felt the same way about it. But before I jump in and say my piece, I'm going to ask Son of Godzilla, Brother Jetty.
Nothing other than what the sister said. I'll use your boy Rush Limbaugh's quote, ditto.
Oh,
that's it.
You
no, really.
Rush.
Everything she said was right on time. Thank you, sister. You articulated very well. I have nothing else to say.
All right. Gabriel, did you get a chance to watch it?
Yeah, actually, I watched it before I saw you post on the group about it. I only really got through maybe halfway through the first episode. I thought it was interesting in the objective that he had. I'm not so sure I agreed with everything that he was talking about, but at least it was interesting to hear. Maybe partly because I don't smoke weed, so it wasn't such a big thing for me about black folks growing weed or not. But I mean, if you're into that, that's totally fine. The other thing was interesting was, and this is kind of a point that the sister made, was I'm not sure if are we trying to was the premise to have Black folks build and create everything that is already built? For example, do we need to start making cars now because we don't build cars as a peoples? You know, because he was trying to find transportation that wasn't Black made or owned. I thought that was interesting, although he did ride that bus, but then he ended up taking the bicycle the rest of the way, I guess, to Athens. So I thought that was interesting. But what the part that I really did like about it was that at the barbecue place, and that's kind of where I stopped, I think, was that he hesitated to eat the food that he was so hungry for because it wasn't grown on a Black farm. So I like that part. I really enjoyed that. Maybe just because my interest is in more the food aspect of it.
Yeah, I think that your questions are, especially about, you know, should we create everything? We have to understand that I think part of what he was trying to point out is that prior to desegregation, that we had our own, you know, we had our own bus companies, we had our own hotels, we had our own restaurants, grocery stores, you name it, we had it. TV stations, radio stations. There were Black automobile makers. And so I think that for me to question, you know, should we make it because it's already there? How else are you going to get that money turned back into your community if your only option is to outsource everything? And so, and that's part of the reason why I wanted everybody to take an opportunity to watch this, because I think it is very important that we have that full understanding of just how little we have. The reason why our communities and things are in the condition that they're in are for these simple reasons, that we abandoned the things that we had in the past. And if something were to happen, and you know, with the way the world is today, you really can't say that it won't. But if something were to happen and for some reason they say, okay, we, you know, just wait, that they trying to build a wall to keep people from Mexico out. What makes you think that they won't build a wall to say that you can't? I mean, it was like this 50 years ago. You couldn't go into their store. So what makes you think that they won't change the laws again and say that, okay, now you can't come into our stores? Because if they do, where are we at, and where are we headed with that? So, you know, the same way that they keep rolling back on civil rights and everything else, these things can take place again. Myself, my brother, son of Godzilla over there, we were born during this time, you know, and we're on the latter fringes of when all this stuff was taking place. So it's not that foreign to us to see such things. So, I mean, I appreciate your thoughts, but I really think that, you know, we need to really start thinking in that direction again. But I agree with you. I think that for me, his part on smoking weed was just letting them know that although we're the ones that's going to jail all the time for having weed, buying weed, selling weed and stuff like that, we ain't the ones that grow the weed. So, you know, and I think that's where he was trying to show the disparity in that also. And not trying to come too hard on you, but I mean, I think what you said is valid. You know, those are valid questions that we got to ask ourselves. And that's the reason why I want to bring this conversation up.
And I have to interject.
So
it's not that you're coming too hard. It's just that it's the truth, man. I mean, we don't have anything of our own. And until we do, we can be dead tomorrow if they stop all the supermarkets and so forth. We need to have our own stuff. Right. That's just the bottom line. It's not about reinventing anything else, but we should have our own economy. like we did before, because otherwise we will always be paying someone else and enriching them. That's just the bottom line.
Mm-hmm. I think, to add to both of you brothers' points, and even to yield a bit on our first brother's point, who was saying, what is he saying? I think just in the fact that we're asking those questions, that's kind of what he's poking at, right? Let's ask that next level of questioning, because if we look at the 4.9, I think it's close to 4.9 million or so businesses out there. You take a percentage of that who are African American or Black-owned businesses, 99% of them are one employee-based businesses, right? Meaning, we even at our core, and they're making half the amount they were making before the market crash in 8 and 9, right? So if we look at the essence of everything we really need to do, yes, we want to encourage business. Yes, we want to encourage our farmers. But at the end of the day, if we're not talking about that next level of industry, then at any time, and I do mean any time, they say, you're right. Yeah, it's too much tension. We want all the Blacks off of our networks. We agree. We want to stop all the use. So then the control is not really in our hands. And if we're really talking about controlling our communities, let's get to the core of the conversations we need to be having around what that really means. And if it means producing something, then we need to not be afraid to start producing again, and commit vertically within your business that you're only going to use those products that are produced by your people.
That's right.
You see, that's what the Chinese do. That's what the Hispanics do. And that's why he came off of that border wall, because they threatened to cut off trade. You understand the power in that? You understand what you can make, who you can make come to your table, and who you can make leave your table when you control that.
Tamika, people have been talking about this since the 80s and probably before. I remember, because the Nation of Islam, I used to study with the brothers, and I have a lot of friends there. They were always talking about the King Alfred plan, where they say there's a document, and I've seen it. There's a document out there on the internet that states that they're going to have martial law if something goes down. These people are afraid of us. And all stores in our communities, and many of us are in the urban areas, are not owned by us. Very few of them. So what are we going to do? We have to have our own. That's just the bottom line.
Right.
Let me be quiet.
So, and with that being said, I mean, consider what's going on in our communities now. One of the reasons why everybody is starting to push to grow is because they're not putting a sign out there anymore saying that you can't come in. They're closing the door and saying we moving out. And so we have what is called food deserts in our areas. So, Gabriel, I'm gonna give you a chance if you got anything that you want to say back at us. I don't want you to think that we're all just jumping on you. I enjoy.
You know better than that, Gabriel. We love you,
so I respect everybody's opinion. So trust me, it's not a dig at you.
No. I'm not. There's nothing for me to rebuttal. I appreciate everybody's comments. In fact, that's why I'm here. I'm here to understand different perspectives. And by no means did I find it offensive at all. I thought it was all constructive. So I truly appreciate it. So no harm done.
Okay, because let me remind you, you're still Black, so don't get too uppity.
I had to remind him of that earlier today. All right, TJ, what do you got to say?
Well, at the end of the day, I think what Killer Mike seized on is the opportunity that exists. You're all right. Food deserts, having our own infrastructure is critical as a unit. I think for me, looking at what this group does and watching that video or the conversation on this group really seizes a lot of opportunities that validate that this tank think, if you will, this group think is critical in order to help fill that void or that need. And what, I apologize, I forget the young lady's name that just spoke a few moments ago. She talked about the fact that he poked at something. Tamika. Yeah, he poked at something. He did poke at a consciousness. He poked at saying, you know, when you really sit back and you look at what we keep within our community, how we continue to build what I like to call generational wealth, but I would say, in addition to saying generational wealth, wealth within our community or base. All of our dollars we get go out; they don't stay in. And so this is about wealth building. This is about socialization in terms of our community pride, those types of things. This is about one of the core things that you think about Maslow's charts. You got to feed yourself. You got to, that's one of your basic needs. And at the end of the day, not allowing your destiny to be in the hands of somebody else. And so even if you think about chemicals, herbicides, those types of things, chemical warfare, other things that folks could do, I just think for me, it just really sees that the consciousness of the opportunity that's in front of us. And I think, it could start with food today. Gabe talked about weed and those types of things. And I know Killer Mike's thing was weed. Weed is illegal today, but it's about to be legalized tomorrow. Hemp is illegal today. It's going to be legalized probably in the next, it's actually legalized with the Farm Bill. I don't know if folks have watched, but the World Health Organization just announced not too long ago that they're going to implore all the nations to deschedule hemp, and I believe cannabis as well. And so they delayed the decision this year because typically when they invoke those type of actions, they build the planning around how to drive policies and the implementation of it in March. But with the U.S. being where it is, I get the sense that this is probably going to be a recommendation that they're hinting towards today, but that will come into play in 2020. And so there's an opportunity in terms of a new industry that's about to take place, particularly here in the States, in addition to food, that, again, is going to be in terms of health and a focus on health, the ties to this, the patents associated with this, the cures that are associated with this. They're talking about seizures, they're talking about epilepsy, they're talking about cancer, cure for AIDS, all those types of things. And so, again, do we want to supply that? We have an opportunity here to supply that, or we have an opportunity to put our monies in somebody else's pocket, Big Pharma's pocket, and allow them to do it. So, like I said, to me, it just spoke to the consciousness of a need and an opportunity that exists there. I'm gonna leave it at that.
All right. Anybody got any comments on that one? All right, I'm gonna jump up to Dr. Ramona. I don't know if you got a chance to watch Killer Mike's trigger warning, the first episode. Did you get a chance to see it?
No, I did not. However, I'm familiar with the concept of self-containment.
Mm-hmm.
The economy, we tried that at one time when Jerry and I were at UCSB. We formed a community and we tried to trade things, although it was a small one, but it was about not spending our money in other stores. But this is a little bigger, what we're talking about. But Killer, what's his name? Killer something.
Killer Mike.
Killer Mike is talking about us producing money, not just saving it.
Yeah.
Save it and then.
Go ahead.
Yeah, the first step is saving, not to let it go. Put a plug, and then on the water tank or that is leaking money, like they say. And then the next is to produce it, and produce it with ourselves, and don't get the government take money from us, tap into our money. that's what we need to work on. And yeah, I mean, I didn't watch the video, but I'm familiar with the concept. But I'm going to watch it.
Okay.
Yeah,
all right. It's on Netflix, so if you get a chance, check it out.
Okay, I will.
All right. All right. I'm gonna ask my man Quinn.
Hey, greetings, everybody.
Yeah, you done cleaned up a little bit, man. I almost didn't recognize you.
Yeah, you know, it was cold here, man. So I had to do everything I could to stay warm.
I know that.
It was like 10 below zero. They said it felt like 40 below zero and stuff like that for a minute, for about 4 or 5 days. Yeah. And then it went to, I think, 45 or 50 or something like that, man. Yeah. It's crazy.
Yeah,
where you at, in Texas?
No, Detroit.
All right, well, you look like you got a Longhorn hat on, and maybe it's a Bulls hat.
Okay, yeah, Bulls hat. Yep, Chicago
Bulls.
Right. Yeah, I got some shoes this color I've been wearing. But but you know, I didn't watch that. Can you tell me the name of it again? It's on Netflix, so I can't look it up.
Yeah, it's Killer Mike's Trigger Warning. First episode.
Trigger Warning, first episode.
Yeah.
Okay, no, I didn't see that. However, I mean, you know, I'm familiar with Killer Mike. I had just watched something. I think it was something on YouTube that he had on there about a week ago. And man, that brother, he very thought provoking. You know, when he was saying I think he was on the Breakfast Club or something, man, when I watched the interview on YouTube. But you know, he always like pushing the envelope for you to think a little bit further.
Right.
And so I like him. I like him. I like his philosophies, you know, his ideals, and I agree with it. You know, I'm here. You know what I'm saying? Someone said that leaders are born, you know, just waiting, you know, for an opportunity to lead. So, you know, I'm here. You know, I'm here. I'm ready. For whatever y'all doing and whatever I can initiate or whatever the case may be, I'm with it, man. If whatever that may be, damn it.
Hey, we're gonna put you to work here in a minute.
Whatever we do,
we're gonna put you to work in a minute, because you know what the area that you're in, that's the area that's coming up. Jetty and I, we were on a conference earlier today, a video conference that was talking about hemp and other things, and what they're doing with it, and giving all the statistics on the profitability of it and the different areas that you can get in. And as soon as they release the video for it, then I'll share that in our group also. So I think it's going to be something beneficial. You know, it talked about what you use to make materials such as your hats and your shirts, and then the material that you use for the CBD oil, and then the other part that you use for to make the plastics and what they call it, hempcrete, things of that nature.
Okay.
So,
cool. Can you say the name of that one more time? Trigger what? I'm sorry.
Trigger Warning with Killer Mike. Yeah.
Cool. Thank you.
Just go on Netflix and type in Killer Mike. It'll come up.
Right. Gotcha. Okay.
Yeah. Parker Lewis, did you get a chance to check it out?
My pocket. You hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Can you hear me?
Yeah.
Okay, there we go. You know, I have issues with technology. But unfortunately, as much as I tried to get access to see the episode, I was not able to see the episode. But what I will say is Killer Mike is pretty much a spokesman for me. So I wouldn't say I guarantee anything that he said. That's something that I'm actually trying to actively do. But that's kind of how I would almost, you know, hypothesize it. Yeah, that.
In half a mile, use the right lane to merge onto I-20 West.
To say on it, but yeah, I'm excited to actually get to see the whole series one, and find people who are actually wanting to implement, you know, some of the stuff that he's been talking about for years, and see that there are people out here who not only can act like leaders, but people who will try not to be leaders because they are leaders.
Right. Right. All right.
Right lane to merge onto I-20.
All right. Well, I'm gonna check with James, see what if he had a chance to check it out and what his thoughts were, and then I'll share a few thoughts on it myself and go from there. Go ahead, James.
Hey, how's it going, guys? I actually did check out part of it. I checked it out last night before I went to bed and checked out. I was going to check out the rest of it after the meeting. But it was he was going to go somewhere in Athens, Georgia, I think, and just try to see if he could live black owned for 30 days or something like that. Is that right, Joe?
Yeah, he was going to go. He was going to a concert or something, and he had 3 days to get there.
Right.
And for those 3 days, yeah.
Right, but so he's just trying to see how hard it would be just to live black owned and just buy a bunch of different products and like that. So I like what I'm seeing so far. He just talking and touching on a lot of different issues that I've he talks about them, and then I know he eventually touches on potential solutions he'd like to see. So it's nice to see somebody in his role talking about it at that level. You know what I mean? So usually you have a lot of people that do lip service, and he's actually, he said, all right, I'm going to see what it's like for people out here. I'm going to try to do something, come up with a solution to help fix this. So yeah, I'm a fan of it. I like it.
All right. Anybody else got anything that they like to toss in right quick?
Could I say something?
Sure.
I would like to say something. Just thinking about it. Okay, I grow cannabis, but all of the products that I use are not produced by us. One of the I remember we had a meeting previously where I can't remember the guest that you had on, but you had on a couple brothers. I think it was some brothers, but I was talking about soil. We buy so much soil. I mean, and it's funny, I keep mine. I put them in garbage bags, and I've been tossing it out back in my backyard. And I mean, I got a huge mountain full of this soil, because I want to figure out how to make it. How do I make dirt or soil or whatever, maybe what they compost or something like that. I just been.
Yeah, I was about to say, you need to talk to Parker Lewis. He can help.
Parker Lewis?
Yeah.
I just been saving it, though. I just been saving it. I mean, it's
actually
literally
On I-20 East for 1.5 miles.
On simple 3-bin composting with worms to make a tremendous nutrient rich compost, and why and how it's beneficial, how it affects your body. I got the PowerPoint. I got the class. I made the class. I've done the class twice. I need to present the class to this group. Yeah, I need to do the class on soil.
All right, so you let me know when you're ready.
Please.
Right. Yeah.
But so just continuing on, it's like, I mean, I use, I got nutrients and stuff, a lot of the things that I use, and I always feel like, okay, yeah, I produce this product. However, just thinking about all of the ingredients that goes along with it, that's not made by us, so it's like, wow, I would love to buy black, you know what I mean? I would definitely love to. And so that's just my thought on that,
Yeah. I agree. Tamika, looked like you had something to say.
I always got something to say, but you know what? My brother, when you said that, it just resonated with me. I'll have to say, I think that's kind of a lot of the reasons why we're all here in this group. When John was really talking about, hey, we really have to get back to connecting with our producers and our farmers and, really rebuilding this. That's one of the things that jumped out to me. And I can't even imagine how many, I started with what was on my back, and the thousands and thousands of t-shirts I've bought, and, all these sports teams I've played with, and they're sponsored by all these entities. And I'm like, man, but we're not connected to we don't produce not one of those items. And And just the t-shirt industry alone is a $225 billion industry. And so just because I have a print shop on the corner, understand I'm only touching the very tip end of that. They could care less about me in that print shop. So how can I become a producer? Because I know we have the skill set to do it. So that resonates with me, brother. And I'm the same way, you know. That's why I'm here.
Thank you. Thank you. And let me say this while I'm on here with Tamika. Can you send me a couple T-shirts, please?
Put some bulls on there.
Some samples, just some samples. I just need a couple
Yes, sir,
T-shirts, Tamika.
Please,
Yes,
Tamika, because he cold back there.
Yeah.
Yeah, let's please. I'm actually trying to send my samples out, mostly to, as I mentioned, like the print shops and the brands, trying to get them to adopt. But I'm more than happy to send you out some samples, my brother, so you can touch, feel. I'll even send you out a shirt, one of my shirts, and then one of Gildane's shirts, and you tell me which one's better.
Absolutely. I mean, and you know, I'll pay for everything, shipping, or whatever the case may be. I just want some, please.
Yeah, and I like the same. You know, you can see I'm promoting my Lyle station. So even if you can make the hats, because we're really growing with that. So we'll talk about it.
Yeah, okay.
But definitely want to do business with you on that level.
Yes, sir. Absolutely.
All right. And you don't have to send me no gilding. I got plenty of that stuff. Don't need no more. So one of my the things that had reconnected with me was, as we're all saying, is the purpose of this group that we have here. And the purpose of this group that we have is that we're trying to put that together. If you remember, one of the brothers that he talked to in there told him, said back in the day, they had the Green Book. And if I'm not mistaken, they even got a movie, because once he said that, I said, that's what that movie's about. And it got a movie out right now about a black man who's riding around. He's got a white guy that's driving him and stuff. I haven't seen the movie, but when he mentioned that, I knew exactly what it was, because that was something that traveling down south to Mississippi and stuff like that. When we were first going there, I remember my mother, she used to tape a dime in the bottom of our shoes in case something happened and we had to run. We would at least have a dime to be able to make a phone call, which I know some of you young folks can't understand about that today. But back then, all you had to do is go to a payphone, put a dime in, you can make a call and go from there. But that was one of the things that she did. And it was certain gas stations and stuff that we could stop at and things of that nature. And so I remember asking, well, how did you guys know where to stop at? And I remember my grandmother and them staying at one time. And it was either them or one of my uncles. And they had said that there was a Green Book. And being a kid, I was thinking it was an actual Green Book. But I think it was the name of the guy who invented the book, and that was his thing, was to put in there all the different places in the South that was safe for our people to go to. And so with what we have here with Legacy, farming and health, that is one of the concepts that I had with creating this group, to be able to get it to the point to where once we got everything in order, once we got everything set, that people will be able to come and connect to this line and be able to say, okay, I want T-shirts, I know to go to Tamika. If I want to do something with hydroponics, I know to go to Gabriel. If I want to deal with something with hemp or anything like that, I can go with Jetty or James. And if I need somebody to be able to teach me how to do some stuff, I know Parker Lewis got me on that one. If I need to get a remedy for a problem that I got, I know Dr. Ramona, she's got me. And so that is the concept that I was trying to push. And so when I saw that, I was like, that's what we need to connect with. When the way he went about it, he showed the struggle. And I know I was sitting there, I had just eaten, but I got hungry for him when he was sitting there getting ready to eat and eating in a couple of days. And I was like, I know this big boy about to smash some stuff. And he's like, he had to push it away. And I was like, now that's showing some grit right there. And that's where we got to actually get to as a people, is to get that grit back to where we're saying, you know what? I know it's an inconvenience, but I'm going to go that extra mile for my brother. You know, I know it's an inconvenience, but I got to go get my jacket, my shirts and stuff from my sister over here. I know it's an inconvenience. You know, I can go and get this from over here, but I need to get it from our folks. You know, we need to be able to bring that money back in. And for those of us who get that, we also need to keep in mind that we're not getting that to go and run into their neighborhood, to spend money in their neighborhood, to buy houses in their neighborhoods and everything else. That's how you that's how you lift up your community, by staying within your community and building your community up. I just this past week, matter of fact, yesterday, met with a group in Evansville, Indiana, and I gave them a proposal. They were getting a grant to do farming and stuff like that. And I told them, I said, look, what do you do with the produce and stuff that you get? Because they were wanting me to come down and run their garden and stuff. And I asked him, I said, so what do you do with the produce that you get? He said, oh, well, we you know, it's a major church. And he's like, we just give it to the people at our church. We, at the end of the service and stuff like that, we say, hey, we got this out there, we got that out there, and people just run and get it. And every now and then, you know, we might charge them $1 or something to get stuff, but, you know, that's what we do. And I said, you know, when we sat down to talk, the first thing that you said was, this country was made off of our backs. And if this country was made off our backs, how much money did we get paid? He said, nothing. I said, but think about it. The work that we did, they took that. They sold it to, if they had tomatoes, they sold it to Hunt's, Mr. Hunt, and Mr. Hunt's made ketchup. They also sold it to Mr. Del Monte. He made ketchup, and he made green beans, and he did this. But guess what? They couldn't do it all on their own. You know, they were canning the stuff and mixing up all the stuff, but they needed something to put it in. So they went to Mr. Mason and bought his jars. They had to get tops and stuff for that. They had to deliver it. That's how they created theirs. That's the same thing that we can do with ours. And I told him, I said, stop. We're not bums. So stop always looking for the charity. And the thing is that once we value the work that we do, then that's when the wealth comes back to us. See, they devalue it. They devalued it when we did it. They devalued it when the Mexicans were out there doing it. And so for them, they're saying that this work here ain't worth nothing because they're making all the money off of it. They're keeping us poor and they're staying rich. The thing is no, it starts here. It starts at our level. And once we're able to do that and we're able to take that, create grocery stores, create restaurants and things of that nature, and we create that ecosystem to where it stays within our communities, it will, I believe it'll take off. And all the stuff that we're talking about right here with all the different things, which I need to get with Gabriel and Parker Lewis, because I want them to come and do some demonstrations for me. Once I get my, I gave them my final proposal. A couple of them did like this, but the head guy, he just looked at it and smiled, and he says, how long will it take us to become profitable on this? I said, well, I give it up to 3 years, but you can actually get that way this year. And so when he looked at the numbers and he was like, oh yeah, that's very doable. It made it all sensible. And the thing was that with the one little thing that I was showing them that they could do, they were able to create from that about 15 jobs. that paid people, and I'm not talking about $2 an hour. I think the lowest people that were getting paid were some of the youth that were going to be in our youth program, and that was $10. But the rest were $15 and up to $20 an hour. So I'm not talking about belittling us. You know, as I told him, I don't work for free, and I don't expect you to either. We got to value each other, and we got to value each other's work and our work ethic. Thing is, we got to do is be able to go out there with the right mindset to produce and give what is worthy. You know, if you're going to do something, especially for our own people, we need to do it in a manner that is worthy of our people and everything. One of the things I was wanting to say, Brother Jetty had put on in the chat the website to be able to watch Killer Mike. So if you get a chance to check it out, then or copy it down, then you can take that and be able to view it. And if not, I think that Jetty will send out an email, and he can have that on there. I'm gonna try to post it in our on our webpage and everything else, so that everybody else can. I was trying to look it up myself and find it, but trying to get this proposal and everything in, I didn't really have that much time. There was another gentleman, as I said earlier, who was supposed to come on, and he was a gentleman that I had met at the All Black National Convention in Philadelphia this year, and he had 80-something acres of land that his family was wanting to sell, and I told him that, you know, you're gonna make a grave mistake out of that. And look like we got somebody on here.
Yeah, I just had to dial back in, you guys. Sorry about that. My internet was kind of shoddy this week.
Okay, no problem. I was just talking about, gentlemen. I was just trying to make sure if you were him or not. So it's all good. But yeah, and as I was saying, he reached out to me a couple of days ago and said that he took my advice, and he was so thrilled. He had talked to his family and explained to them, because they were looking at the quick sale of everything. You know, we got to value, or if nothing else, value land. That's one thing that they don't create anymore of. If you got acreage, you can make money. And from the way that they were talking about that hemp and stuff, they were saying, I'm trying to remember how much they were saying that you can make an acre. What was it? You remember, Jetty?
Hey, brother, I was, that stuff was going so quickly. I've got to get my notes. Just give me a few moments, though.
Yeah, well, I want to say on the high end, it was close to anywhere from 1,500 to like 2,500.
I think it was like 1,200. You're right, about 1,200.
Yeah. I'm trying to go with the low and the high, because I know some of it was on the low end and some of it was on the high. And they were talking about, this was what they were giving the price per pound, and then they were multiplying it by the ton. And so even when you take something like that where you can make $1,500 and you got 58 acres like this brother has, you know, when you do the math, then you come up with almost 90 grand just off of one crop, and you can easily get 2, sometimes 3 crops in a year, depending on where you're at. And I think he's in the South, so he could probably very easily get 3 crops in. So, you know, he's going from a piece of property that everybody is looking terrible at to now looking at a piece of property that can generate close to $250,000 a year for him and things of that nature. So it is all in our mindset. This is part of what we're here to do. He was supposed to be bringing some people on. He has a group of guys in Philly that get together, and they're pushing the dial on hemp up there. They have a hemp organization that they were working with, And so he was supposed to be bringing them on tonight. So unfortunately, he wasn't able to do so. But we'll definitely push to try to get him again next time that we come, and go from there. Gabriel, if you got any type of training that you can do for some youth for a couple weeks or something like that, to train them in hydroponics, aquaponics, your method of growing. You got some time, we'll try to make it worth your while.
All right.
Same for you, Parker Lewis.
All right.
So,
hey, John, were you referring to where you are at or where I'm at?
I'm referring to where I'm at right now.
All right.
So, if you can just take a couple of days or something just to give them a demonstration or something like that. If you got a couple of days, 2 or 3 days that you can come up and spend with them, it'll be sometime this summer. I don't know what your availability is.
Sure.
But, we would love to have you come in. Our thing is to try to show them the different ways of growing. And so
yeah, I would love to do that.
Yeah, 3 or 4 ways. And once we do this, the hope is to be able to demonstrate this with the rest of you guys across the country. Because I'm telling you, there's money out there for this, especially in this new agriculture bill, farm bill that they did. They got a bunch of money out there to be able to go out there and teach our youth. Right now, it's the time to jump in on it, utilize all of our resources. The more people that you got involved, the more money that they will allot for you. So we'll be more than happy to, like I said, try to work with each other and keep it in-house. As long as we keep turning the money in-house, and we know if we come up short, we got somebody to sell to or buy from.
I like it. That's what they do when they win them grants. They only hire each other. Don't let them play. Don't let them fool you. That's exactly how the USDA and them Southern boys and girls kept their ranches, kept legacy areas, control industry, all of that. So we just need to move like they move.
We speak of the man, and it looked like he jumped in. Andrew. I see a little red spot on there, but I can't see him. Can you hear me? Andrew. You might want to check your mic.
Yeah.
And check your video. It should be somewhere on there around the bottom. On mine, it's in the lower left-hand side. It has a mute, so you might be muted right now. So might want to unmute yourself. It doesn't show that you're muted. We just can't hear you. And then you can hit something to give us a video. If nothing else, we do have what is called a chat box. So you can also put something in the chat box for us for something that you want to say. We were just talking about you and your property and stuff. So I was hoping you would be on and be able to share with everybody. We've been on for almost our hour now. But if you get a chance, we'd like to hear from you and hear about the group that you're with, so that we can share with the rest of them. So whenever you can talk, go ahead and talk. Doesn't matter if I'm saying something, just say, hey, I'm here. And we can go from there. But as I was saying with Gabriel and to Parker Lewis, I would like to get with you guys and have you guys come in, work with the youth a little bit, share your knowledge, and then we can try to duplicate this. We also got this going on in Indianapolis right now and here in Princeton. So I already got 3 working models. So I'm going to be busy here pretty soon. So with that being said, it's all good. So I'm happy about all that. So, but the thing is that the purpose for all this, and the reason why we really want to get our website up and everything, is to be able to do exactly what was in that thing, to be able to connect and let people know where to go. Because one of the issues that Killer Mike had in the video that he saw was that he didn't know, he had to go and search around to find where to go. And it looked like I saw Andrew being able to say something. Andrew, can you say something?
No, not right now. I'm here. I'm finishing the job we got set up. We're tuned in. I'm here with the elder at the Black Holocaust Museum. I'm just happy to tune in.
Okay. So he sounds like he's got something that he's got going on. But yeah, and as we were saying, with what we're doing, our thing is to be able to work together. With what we saw today, with these for those who are in other areas such as cannabis, such as Quinn and Jetty and James, those are things that we need to work with. And speaking of that, James, if you would refresh us on what's going on with the Freedom to Grow conference. James? Okay, James might be busy right now. So, Jetty, you remember the dates of the conference?
Freedom to Grow?
Yeah.
I will post them. I don't remember them, but I will post them.
Okay. Andrew, once again, we appreciate you being here. The name of our group is Legacy Taste of the Garden, and we do have quite a few people on here who are in there. We have a young lady by the name of Tamika. Oh, I'm look like I'm starting to get some sight. I see somebody.
We're coming into the 21st.
You're seeing pretty good.
We're coming into the 21st.
How you doing?
Good.
All right. They have to speak up because we having a hard time hearing you.
Okay.
Let me turn it off for you.
I met Brother James at the Black Business Conference that was held here in last year. And I got an opportunity to discuss with him about some land that my family inherited in Louisiana. And he pointed out or made a suggestion that I grow hemp. By me not being a farmer, it was a new venture, but the land has just been sitting there and not being used. Anyway, he's got me and gave me some insights into some of the possibilities. At the same time last year, they did a DACA convention here, which they had some very powerful speakers come in, which I did invite them to participate with this group, a few of them anyway, that I was able to get in touch with. About minorities involved in cannabis. And during that convention, I had an opportunity to mingle with some individuals, professionals that are already involved in the industry. And they were able to give me a little bit more insights. And I like to bring them in the circle. Well, at the same time, Pastor Thomas here in Philadelphia is in the process of acquiring 128 acres of land, and that's his vision to grow hemp. So with all of this agriculture coming into play, I contacted Brother Jameson and asked him would he participate in the teleconference that we did the other day, and a few other people that did participate. He responded today and told me about what you're doing this evening. As you see, we're over here working, cleaning, mopping and waxing a union hall, but we had laptops, so we was able to get in finally. I have the elder, J. Justin Ragsdale, the curator of the Black Holocaust Museum here in Philadelphia, which is so excited that we're able to link. So continue on, and we'll get in where we fit in.
All right. Well, that's great. So you said that you were you had to talk to some of your family members about it. How did they respond to what you said to them?
Well, initially it was just a presentation. What we're going to do with the land, I have some ideas. That's how it started. And the few, like my sister, that I was really specific with. I had what I had in mind as far as, but that's one of the waves right now. It might be something else, might section it off. I don't know.
Right.
Right now, I'm just looking into what has to be done. The land has to be cleared, it's not more than a notion.
Mm-hmm. Oh, yeah. Yeah. Well, farming is more than a notion. I'll tell you that just by my experience in it. It's more than just tossing some seeds out there and sitting down and eating some vegetables.
Right.
It takes a little bit of work, but we're more than happy to work with you. As a matter of fact, I think James is on here. We got James. James is a gentleman. He's in down there in the Texas area, and they're having the Freedom to Grow conference. James, are you able to talk now?
Yes, sorry about that.
No problem.
But yeah, we are doing the Freedom to Grow conference. I think Jetty already put up the link to the site. Can you hear me?
Yeah, go ahead.
Okay, so the actual link to the site, he already has it in there, but it's going to be from the April 19th to the 21st. We're still, we got the vendors going. We have a bunch of different people doing the, like different classes for hemp oils, hemp processing, hempcrete. There's actually a hemp construction company out of, I want to say Colorado that's coming. We have people that teach you how to cook with cannabis oils, how to grow and cultivate cannabis. And also we have people working with the agricultural part of everything. So it's just we're touching on all aspects of it, but there will be more vendors in line with doing the hemp and cannabis bit.
Okay.
I got a question for James.
Yes, sir. Go ahead.
Hey, how's it going? This Quinn. Okay, the last time you talked about that, I thought it was just gonna be on 420. So I'm glad to hear that it's, for like that weekend or whatever that is, that date in April. So would it be cool if I were to attend? Just, you say that from the 19th. Is it the 18th or the 19th?
Excuse me, brother. It was the 18th through the 21st.
Okay. Do you think it'd be cool if I just came down there for like one of those days?
Absolutely. Now, as far as like how you will work it out, Jerry is the one that's he has the website and everything set up. So I can put you in contact with him. He can just like break down some options for you. Just because we're still breaking down like what's happening on which days, just depending on what the presenter wants to do. So one, I can get you to get you his number or something like that, so you can see what day will work best for you.
Okay. Yeah. I mean, I just want to come down there and just watch, man, and see what y'all got going on, just to be a part of it in that way. And the reason, I have a 420 party here as well, so that's why I would be here, for my event.
No,
but definitely. Yeah. Okay. Cool. Where are you at? Are you in Texas? I think. Where are you at again?
Dallas, Texas.
Dallas, Texas. Okay, he is in Texas. Okay, cool. All right, thanks, James.
No problem.
All right. So, did you get that information, Andrew?
Yes, I did. And I look forward to getting a text or email about it.
Okay. Yeah, we'll definitely send you a link and everything with the information for the Freedom to Grow.
We need his email.
Yeah. Do you have an email, Andrew?
Yes, I do.
Okay.
I can text it to you.
All right. Yeah, go ahead and text it to me, and then we'll get that information to you from there. That'd be the best way to go about doing it. So with that being said, and we're at our hour. Like I said, we like to be respectful of everybody's time and everything. So, and does anybody have anything else that they would like to add to or share?
I'd like to just say thank you to everybody for having me here, and I'll be in touch with a few of y'all.
All right.
Peace.
All right. And Andrew, we got a young lady on here by the name of Tamika. She makes shirts and things of that out of hemp. So that's a potential customer for you.
Yes.
So because I'm gonna put her to work. I want some of those shirts and some hats and
I do too.
Sweatsuits, whatever she make. I want it all.
I do too, bro.
All right.
Yes, definitely happy to help you out. I will say on the hats, we from a production piece, we don't produce that ourselves, so we're strictly going to be focusing, y'all, just so we all know, it's just shirts, polos, and hoodies at this time. But that is not to say we won't try to expand that. It's just a different type of seamstress when you're talking about putting together or assembling hats.
Okay.
So I got y'all, family.
All right.
I put my email in there. You guys please reach out.
All right. So she's put her stuff in there. Dr. Ramona, you got anything you want to share?
At the moment, I cannot think of anything. Thank you.
Okay. All right. Everybody's good?
Everybody's good. I was glad to make it in a little late, but I'm glad we contacted.
Oh, yeah. I will send you a link on the next time that we meet. We'll meet up in a couple weeks and come and share some more information that we have. If we get an opportunity to meet with the guys that you guys got there, we'll be more than happy to. And like I said, this is what we're about, is trying to work with each other, as we know from our past and how they treated us in the past. That they keep a lot of information from us. So we work together trying to pass on the information that we've collected over the time that we've been here, and trying to help one another out to be able to get around or get over or go through whatever hurdles that they put out before us. So together we're going to make it.
Okay, brother Jameson.
All right.
All right. This is my elder. He's sitting there. He's got a little shy all of a sudden.
Oh, well, hi, shy elder. How are you doing?
How you doing, brother?
All right. Now, are you the one that's purchasing 120-something acres?
I need to, but he's going to loan me his before we get started.
Okay, well, that's all right. Put him to work.
But my question is, are we in a position to purchase anything as yet, or is anyone making anything? I'm coming in the last to this. Are we dealing with hemp, or what are we dealing with?
Well, in this group here, we are farmers. We are doctors. We have people who are in what we call the value added end, who makes T-shirts out of hemp. And so we come together and we are just promoting one another, promoting the learning from one another through contacts on how to help one another out. We do have those who are in the hemp and cannabis industry on here. So and we're also dealing with the what we call the Freedom to Grow conference that's coming up in Dallas, Texas. So that's one of the conferences that's coming up that will specifically deal with him. And so one of the things that he'll have on there, as he was sharing earlier, was that he would have people there who teaches you how to cook with the oil that you get from hemp, how you make the products that come from hemp, and even the hempcrete and everything else is what they're doing at their conference in Dallas, Texas, April 18th through the 21st. So it's called the Freedom to Grow Conference. So that's one of the guys that's on here. We have people from all across the United States. on here. So go ahead.
Would you let us know, please? Because
Most
I'd like
definitely.
to make that if we can. Okay.
Most definitely. That's our thing, is to share with everybody and to create that network so that our people can know where to go to, who they need to contact with in order to make these things happen. All right.
Okay. Yes, sir.
It's a pleasure meeting you, Elder. So with that being said, I'm gonna go ahead and bid everybody shalom. I hope you guys have a prosperous year. That as they say, that the blessings of the Most High fall upon you guys, and that He makes us prosperous, and that He increases our territory.
Amen.
With that, I'll say,
Amen.
see you guys later. Thank you guys for coming. All right.
Thank you.
Thank you.
All right.